2:15.
What time
No, it's 2:15. About the time I should be going, but
Right.
I'm not rushing. Yeah.
I was going to say, like, so
Looking after grandkids today. That's a problem. So.
yeah, you drove here though. Yeah. It was fine. Stick around for 10 minutes.
Oh, I'll be here for at least 10 minutes. Yeah, I'm not.
Hi guys. Sorry that we're a bit late today. Lots to do. Bit less wind. You can probably hear wind's blowy a little bit, but it's okay. We've got with us here, an old comrade in arms, probably one of the first activism days I've ever done, literally the first one. This is Colin. Okay, Colin. So where was the first day that we were? Was it Bournemouth, was it?
Bournemouth, I think, yeah.
It was Bournemouth.
Yeah.
We went out, there was about 20 of us. This is Harry. We were all camping, there were about 20 of us, and we got dragged out by Harry to go to the seafront. Whereas I stood back and I watched, and I wouldn't speak to no one. I just watched everybody doing what they're doing. Terrified I was. And yeah, this is the result. I'm here, Colin's here, and this is this is probably day 96 for me, I think. So yeah, it's really good. It's good to have you, Colin.
Cheers.
Right. Don't think my signal's brilliant here. Well, I'm just going to check one sec. Yeah, we'll probably buffer up. We'll buffer a little bit. The signal's not fantastic. Bear with us. The banners, the wind's catching the banner. Only be a second. It's hard. Well, I'm going to put you down a second. Oh, good second. Right, sorry guys. Yeah, we're up and running again. We will be buffering a little bit. Signal's not fantastic. Apologies for that. Have you come across it before? No. Really? There's millions of us. Millions are waking up to know that we did not have proof of going, maybe to the moon. We've no proof of these photographs. We've worked out that they are composite images, and we've never seen Earth from space.
So you're not Scientologists?
We're not, as in scientism, the religion of science.
Yes.
The bit that had no proof whatsoever.
Yes.
Things like gravity and just all these fanciful stories. No.
You're not?
No.
No.
Don't believe that I don't believe in gravity. I think it's nothing more than just density and buoyancy, electromagnetism, relative density, I should say. It's a lot more simpler. It doesn't have to be complicated with maths and concepts, theories. It doesn't have to be like that.
Okay.
So there's an awful lot, like the International Space Station, that we're seeing all the trickery, all the fakery, all the CGI that they're using, and we're pointing it out. And I'm about if you've got any questions. You got one of them, haven't you? Yeah. Good. Guys, could you give us a thumbs up if everything's okay with the stream, audio and video? Because on my end, it doesn't look as though it's actually recording. How very strange. It looks like it's at my end, looking at my video, it's buffering all the way. Okay, I'll leave it as it is for a moment. Thank you. Cheers, Anthony. Managed to watch a little bit of your stream before. It's really good, but I need to watch the whole lot again with your stream. I need to do it again quite a few times. I think I need a pen and paper for that one. It's pretty complicated stuff.
Yeah, there's
Yeah, so as you can see, Roxanne's left us now. Bit of a shame. She's run out of days, babysitter days. So it's all good because we were only meant to have her for the one day. You know, she was meant to come out for the Isle of Wight, do the Isle of Wight, and then get back home. But so it's a shame. You know, babysitters run out. so she's back home, and hopefully people will come out and join me along the way, like Colin. Restarted my phone. I'm hoping that things are okay. I'm not sure why it was. I turned off all my apps and then I restarted it, but it was still struggling. So hopefully it's better. If you can give us a thumbs up and okay. Excellent, good. Right, we've got a stream again. Yeah, sorry guys. Right, are you going to make it? Are you going to make a run? I don't know if
No, I'm all right
okay.
for a little while.
All right, no problems.
My daughter's going to ring me shortly. So.
All right, okay, excellent, good. Yeah, so it's not raining yet. It's looking miserable up here. I've just been talking a little bit about gravity, but like I think there's someone come out and they want to kind of tell me that theories are. I don't know. Oh, he didn't say that or fact, but he was kind of alluding to that. You know, he doesn't want to come on film, so which is the guy over here. Come out specially to talk to people who are interested. So I'll let them get on with it. Right. You think again, you've got all these people. We're right in the heart. It's like I imagine if I went over there, all the people would be over there. If I go over there, all the people would be over there. It's like, where would you go? So I've put the banner. I'll let you have a little quick look about. I say, this is Carlisle. I think it's Carlisle's in Cumbria. It's meant to be like is it called the rainy country? Is it the wet country? The rainy country here or something? It's always wet. It's always raining. We're privileged and honoured to be here in the dry part. Yeah, I've been here, I've been up this way quite a few times, but it's always been pissing down. So as you see, for those who've joined me, Roxanne's not with us. She abandoned me. She hates me. And she's gone back to, I suppose I'll just get on with life and look after her kids, and she should be here, Roxanne. Yeah, just to say that Roxanne was only meant to do one day, and she did amazingly well by juggling babysitters to get to stay a little bit longer. So thank you very much, Roxanne, for joining us. And we'll be seeing Roxanne at the UK convention. If anyone is in the UK, get down there. It's I keep forgetting, 13th, 14th and 15th at the UK convention. It will be a monumental weekend. Thoroughly looking forward to that. And I think you'll be able to see, I'm sure Anthony Riley's going, Sleeping Warrior, and you all need to go there and at least shake his hand, because he did a monumental effort in Liverpool and it was priceless. It was so, yeah, you need to shake his hand. So get your tickets and get over and see. We probably need to get Anthony on the stage now and tell us how that went. So there you go, Robin. You need to ask Anthony on stage. I'll put you on the spot, sorry. You alright? Do you want to lift it?
I've already got one.
Oh, you got one? Yeah, she beats me at it all the time. Have you come across it before?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, right. And what sort of research have you done?
No, I didn't. I do science at university.
All right, okay. Well, it must be interesting in this. Why would these crazy flat earthers be interesting? Because I mean, like this.
Let's see what you have to say.
Millions. There's millions. I mean, scientists waking up every day and knowing that the Earth is flat. Or, I keep saying flat. I shouldn't say flat. It's observably flat. It's observably flat. Okay. But it's we're just saying that. When I was 5 years old, I was presented that. Given that, 5 years old, didn't have the ability to critically think. My teachers. So now that I'm older, now 3 years ago, I'm asking questions. Where is the proof that I live on that? That's what I'm asking. And it seems that when my first bit of proof, I thought, well, it's obvious because NASA showed us photographs. And then when I found out that they're not photographs, that they're composite images, then alarm bells went up and I wondered, well, hang on, are they all composite pictures? But there is a lot of fakery going on with NASA. And we're saying, that's where you kind of need to start first and then figure out, have we been to space? Have we been to the moon? Is what they're saying true? And that's where you start, I think.
It's a good question.
Sorry?
It's a good question.
It is. It is. And it'll reaffirm the science that you're learning, if anything, because a lot of the science that you're doing, don't settle for all your theories and good stories. Demand proof. Has this been properly peer reviewed? Has it gone through the rigorous testing of the scientific method? And has it been peer reviewed properly? And they've used the scientific method. You probably find most of the science that you've learned, it isn't. So it becomes kind of like a pseudoscience, I think. All right. Any questions? I'm around. Okay. No problem. Yeah, he's studying science, but I'm surprised he doesn't hit me with this question and that question. We've got two over here. See, Anthony, you would love this one. This guy here, you've missed an opportunity here. Walking away in the green jacket, he wanted to talk about science. You're right.
Somebody and it's just start throwing technical things at you that you know nothing about.
That's right. Well, I get that all the time, and I have to just turn around and say, look, you need to put that aside, because what am I meant to be? A nodding dog for you? Because I can't refute anything that you're saying.
Yeah.
You can tell me that trees are made of blancmange. Well, I don't know, are they? Okay. It does get hard sometimes, and.
I was thinking about this week because I'm reading the Bible, right, and it says in the end times, all the mountains. Right, when Jesus comes back, everybody will see him coming on the cloud. Right? Jesus is one person. How do they see him coming from the other side of the planet?
Right, okay.
Right? And all the mountains will be
leveled. I've never heard this one before, and I've heard quite a few.
All the mountains will be leveled, right, and all the islands will disappear. Right? Which is another case of an island is just a mountain that's perked above the sea.
Okay.
So they will all disappear, right? And everybody can see Jesus coming. Right, and Jerusalem will be raised, a new Jerusalem will be raised, and everybody can see it. Right. So how's that if the world's round? And that's what I've been asking myself this week, and then all of a sudden I see this.
That's pretty deep, that. Yeah, no, I mean, I don't come from a religious background, but an awful lot of people do. There are so many religious people involved in this. I remain an agnostic because I feel so I haven't had a call, and don't have any feelings about it. I don't know either way. So
I was an atheist before.
I think that's a silly statement for most people to be in. That's a bit silly position because you don't know. So how can you're making a claim of something still that you don't know? You should sit on the fence until you know something, until you I think it's a silly place to be positioned. Like atheists. I'm not. But it sounds like you've seen the light of something. You have. Well done. Nice talking to you too. Yeah, well, that's interesting. He's slowly coming into flat Earth from a religious standpoint. Yeah, I have no problems with anyone coming out on the street, and if you come from a religious standpoint, then that's your journey. It's not my journey, I'm afraid. I find it difficult sometimes to talk about religion because I know nothing about religion. Yeah, I find that was strange. That one there, the temperatures in space. Because I always assume that in space the temperatures were cold. You always hear that, it's really cold in space.
Yeah, depends where in space.
But I didn't realise that, okay, but you've still got the radiative heat from the sun. So if you've got a satellite in space, then that is actually collecting all that radiative heat. All that's bombarding and hitting on that object. So it gets hotter and hotter and hotter. And then that's when they say, because if you go on science.com, you go on, I think it's science.com and nasa.com, it says that they get, in the thermosphere, it gets up to 2,500 degrees Celsius in the thermosphere. Well, if that's the case, then these are going to melt. They're all made of aluminium, titanium. They're going to melt.
I rise though, so it's like enhanced from heat shielding.
Say that again?
It has heat shielding on them.
How does
It has heat shielding.
heat shielding? That's what. Okay, and then I see astronauts go outside, and they're wearing like cottons and things, their space suits and that, and they open. There's cables all outside. They open these boxes where they've got the tools when they're working on something, and you can see Velcro. And they and get the tools out. They work on something. I don't believe for a second that they're out there doing all that. Not if we've got them temperatures. Not for a second. And you would think that they've got heat shielding. You check out these satellites. Bit of tin foil isn't heat shielding. It's just nothing more than aluminium, isn't it? It's going to melt.
I think it's a bit more than aluminium.
I think you'll be pleasant. I won't say pleasantly surprised. You'll be surprised. And then there's no air molecules there to disperse that heat away, to take that heat away. It's just going to stay there. It's just going to build.
The air molecules will make what keep the heat in.
Say that?
The air molecules that what keep the heat in. That's why the Earth's not frozen.
We're talking about. We're talking about the satellites there. If radiative heat is bombarding the satellite and that's getting hotter and hotter and hotter, there's no air molecules surrounding that to take the direct heat and take that away. It's just and you can't have these all of a sudden are going to perform more radiative heat and pass that on. We're talking about direct heat.
But actually, the air molecules are what would keep it warm. If there were air molecules, then it would melt. But the lack of air molecules.
But that's what I'm saying. There is no air molecules, is there?
Yeah, exactly. That's why it doesn't melt.
But that sun still passes all that heat. I mean, we feel the sun, and that sun, all that temperatures from the sun has actually come here. That's radiative heat. We feel that, so it is passing through all that vacuum of space. It's coming here. Exactly. It hasn't got air.
Rocket.
I agree with you.
And what did he say?
I agree with him.
And what did he say?
I just agree with everything he's saying about.
That's a really clever statement. I agree with him. That's, I find it silly sometimes. Yeah, well, let him have a little talk. I agree with him. Yeah. So has he gone, mister? Yeah, isn't he? We had a bit of a conversation with Mr. Science thing, but I'm not sure he was kind of getting what I was saying about radiative heat and direct heat.
Oh yeah, he's gone.
Yeah, I thought he was here, but he's disappeared. So come on, guys. What sort of tells you that you live on the globe? What do you think it is? What makes you think?
Clouds go that way and come back around.
And that tells you you're on the globe?
The sun goes round and comes back. If the Earth is flat, how doesn't the water just fall off the end?
Well, you're throwing 3 or 4 things in there. But who says that there's an end? Who said that? That's mainstream media. You've been programmed by the mainstream media and you bought it. I've never said that. I've never met a flat earther that said that. I've never heard a globe denier that has said that.
What if there is an end? I could just fall off the end then, couldn't I?
What end? Where you get your programming from? Someone has brainwashed you. Where has that come from?
I don't think I have a brain for
They don't say there's an end. Well, that's a shame, isn't it? That program gets around. I keep saying flat earth, and I shouldn't, but it's. I suppose I've been programmed. Oh dear. I'm a globe denier. I've got one. Oh, you've got one. She gets around, doesn't she? I got one of this job. All right, okay. Every time that I try and give anything out, I never give them out because she's got them too quick. She's fantastic for that. And she gets stuck in all the conversations. You're right, it's observably flat, and I'm trying to program myself to regurgitate that on command. Yeah, I think Roxanne hasn't done a good enough job. Come on, Roxanne, you've got to... and Anthony Riley. He was trying to teach me about the scientific method again, and I get it, I understand it. I find it really difficult to get that out to somebody else. I do. I struggle with it terribly, and that's why I kind of steer away from the science and the physics and that. But occasionally, yeah. Like, at Liverpool, for instance, when you see that two couple, the couple that Anthony was speaking to, that was... I knew that I was so out of my depth, and the second that she started, I think, well, you seen what she was like. The second that she spoke, it was like, Anthony, where's my dad? Anthony, get here. And he come to the rescue fantastically. I'm not equipped to be dealing with the scientific method and science and that, and that's why we need people on the street, like those who can back us up on that information. I'll talk about the conspiracy side of things. I'll talk about, the things that I know, the things that I've learned. And then fingers crossed, I'll hope that you guys all know what you're all talking about. And there you go, you got Colin with us. Colin, I won't put him on the spot and try and get in on the conversation. It's not fair on him. He hasn't been doing this for a while, but he's... I hope you take note, you lot. The rest of the team who were with us doing activism. Colin stepped forward and he's here. I think he must have heard me calling out. Come on, guys, I miss you all. We've had some fantastic days out on the road. And anyone else that wants to join us, you're very welcome to. Come across it before? Pardon? Have you come across it before?
No.
No? So I'll put this on me. You haven't come across it before? No. When I was young, when you were young, we were presented that. That's what we were presented with.
Yeah.
Globe. And probably 5 years old, 4 years old, whatever. And little babies, they have electrics and that. What I'm getting at is that up until now, I've never challenged it. I was proof, never challenged it, and now I'm saying, I will proof now. And then when I realised, obviously there is proof because NASA took all them photographs. It's obvious. So that was my first port of call, and I knew that, this must be rubbish because NASA took the photographs.
Right.
Then I find out they never took the photographs. What they took was composite images, just high altitude, structured data, drawing it all together, make spheres, eyes like this guy here. Data visualizer, puts it all together, and then on a 3D blank sphere, puts layering, clouding all over, and it's got loads of guys like this who like these things.
I can't stay much longer. I've got to go. I've got a bus to catch. But,
not a problem. Did you grab a leaflet? I think he's just had a meltdown. Yeah. He didn't take a leaflet. He just had a meltdown and said, "I've got to go. Got to get a bus. Right, bye." Oh dear. Some people, you cannot take their balls away. It's turned out quite a good day, really. With a little bit windy, but we're tied into a tree. I don't normally like to be tied into a tree because if the wind catches it on one side, it will take off. It will just spin around the tree and someone might get hurt, but it is tied fairly well. Little update on my stickers, and the update is they haven't got a clue where they've gone. So I'm waiting for a phone call sometime today, and hopefully that I'll get a bit more information on what's happened to them. I've just spoken to the printers. Just people are trying to chase things up. So all I can do is leave it at that for a moment, and I will give you an update possibly tonight or tomorrow morning. I'll let you know what happened to them. This is really disappointing. The whole idea of this tour is to have the largest rolling banner, so to speak, flat smacking all the way down the country, all over the country, and I've been let down terribly. So we'll see. I'm almost thinking, I'm very paranoid over it because I haven't had a parcel go missing in years, absolute years. And then the very main one that I wanted, everything else has arrived. My banners are at home; they're okay. I think my T-shirts arrived. My leaflets arrived. David Weiss sent some cards all the way from America. Got one in the back there. They all arrived successfully. So, but the main one hasn't arrived. There you go, Lisa. Well done. See if we can get in on this.
Yeah. Personally, how I got into it is as a young child, it didn't make sense to me what I was being taught. But I didn't know that anything.
Well, what didn't make sense to you? There's a million things in the world, isn't there?
Okay, well I can
So which
explain.
of the million things in reality?
Okay, well I'll explain the very basics to you. Okay, because this is just the very basics, right? There's the circumference of the Earth.
Yeah, but wait a minute. You're explaining how you got into it. And you said you were a very young child.
Oh, well that's when I started questioning things. But to be honest, most people question things when they're a young child.
Yeah, but you question more than the
It's more
planets.
than that, but you have to really speak.
Yeah, but wait a minute. You could question the existence of God. You could question why 11 people kick a ball around a park for £1 million a week and so on. There's a million things you could question, right? And as a young child, you'd be very clever if you picked out astrophysical problems, wouldn't you? So I'm just wondering. When you reached a more mature age, did you join like a society
No,
or
I
a
didn't.
club?
No, I didn't join any society. I don't belong to any
So when
society.
were your eyes open?
Okay,
to
but I
this?
haven't even said anything.
No, okay, I'll let you speak now.
Okay, right, okay.
But I still want to know how you get into it.
Right, okay.
And then you can explain the facts.
How did I get into it? I'd rather explain the facts, actually.
No,
'cause I think the facts are more important.
I'd rather say just, because
It's very rude. It's rude. Absolutely rude.
out of there when there are a billion different beliefs, aren't there?
Okay,
Go
well,
on then.
how I got into it is somebody mentioned it to me. They suggested that it
What
might
sort
be
of age
possible.
were you then?
Oh, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
Well, tell me what age you were.
It doesn't matter.
What
Look,
doesn't matter?
It's not.
What,
It's not.
this matters, but it doesn't matter you telling me the truth about how old you are. What's the secret about it?
Well, you'd be very argumentative.
I'm not being argumentative. Well, she hasn't been given a chance because I'm not argumentative. I'm a curious person.
Right, okay.
Right, what age were you when you were enlightened?
Really rude.
I don't think that's really important. I don't.
There you go. Yeah. Wow. How
Why
rude
does
is
it matter
that?
what age I was?
Well, no, I know. He's just that was terrible. That
He'll be
was.
back for a third time.
I think Lisa just had her first troll experience. That was he just wouldn't let you give. You tried and tried and tried.
He came earlier and he patted me on the shoulder and went, "One day you grow up."
Ah, right. So
Like, okay, bye.
condescending. Yeah. There you go. No need for that. And that's the problem, isn't it? You know, like sometimes you can't get out in the street and you just want a conversation. So what you're looking for, conversation. You know. Yeah, it's terrible. It's quiet. I'm trying to keep a low profile so people actually get to the sign without me being a vulture and diving on them. Let's film from afar. Oh. He's the town drunk. It's actually a lovely place. This, if you ever over this neck of the woods, it's absolutely gorgeous. Carlisle. I'd like to spend some time here and get to know it a little bit further. We are parked in a car park right next to a castle, which is I think we're going to have tea there tonight. It's absolutely beautiful down there. It's what's going on in these daytimes? Why is it so quiet? I'm hoping that we're off to when we go to Edinburgh. That I'm sure that will be a little bit busier, and then Glasgow, of course. Hopefully, we've got a few people coming in. Be nice. It'd be nice if people come down. Dell, are you going to come and meet us? That'd be interesting. You know. Yeah, I think I'm sure Dell's in near Glasgow or in Glasgow, one of the two. He's always welcome to get on the street with us. You know, show me how to do this properly. People like Dell and other people, so much more articulate than me. They'll do a better job. It'll be interesting. I think there's quite a lot of globe deniers in Scotland, so it'd be nice if they all come out and get on the street and enforce. Because what normally happens is when there's a lot of you, it draws crowds in because people are wondering what it is that you're doing. But today there's only a few of us. There's only a couple of us really. Yeah, I never have any ill feeling towards anyone in the past, and that it's a new day, move on. And I hope I kind of presented myself and showed myself like that. We had Mr. Cheswick came out, and I like the way Journalism says, you know, like if you like what I'm doing, stick around. If you don't like it, move on. It's no big deal. Just move on. And that's the same what I did with Mr. Cheswick. You know, like he put a bit of content out there. Some people like it, they'll stick around. I didn't like some of it. I didn't. I moved on. I unsubscribed, and it's no big deal. You know, but it's he actually went right up the ladder in respect for, that I had for him. Anyone who comes out and can put their differences aside for 10 minutes, and you know, we're all in this together. You know, we might not agree on the specifics, you know, but if you all accept that you're not living on a ball, we're in it together. And as I say, I agree with a lot what they say. You don't need groups, you don't need organisations and things like that. You can be an individual, but you can get together. Doesn't mean to say that we're conspiring and well, okay, we did actually. Me and Lisa, we conspired together this morning to be here, and we conspired to put the banners just there and not over there.
Do you think satellites exist?
Look at these guys. I know it seems funny, guys. It does feel funny, you know, like saying, but you think your phone goes to a satellite, don't you? That's the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard. Do you see that? That's a young kid, and he thinks his phone signal goes directly to a satellite. It's just nonsense, and that's the problem. And kids are being brainwashed.
Off of work.
Yeah, just asking, you know, like, what's it will be hidden Edinburgh and Glasgow and all that, and there is a lot of flat earther stroke globe deniers, you know, like I can't label them, you know, because they may still label themselves a flat earther, you know, like it's not my place to label them, and I hope that they I've labelled myself, I'm a vegan globe denier. So but, you should label yourself. You don't need other people to label you, or don't label yourself. You don't have to. It's the wind. It's quite blowy, but it's quite warm here. I'm only in a t-shirt today. It's fairly warm. Got my Liverpool top on today. That's probably why he's keeping people away. You like Liverpool? Did you hear that, Anthony? I like Liverpool. Yeah. I seen that, Ian. I was going to say we lost Lisa, but she's on the fringes, isn't she? Let's take you on a little wander, since it's a little bit on the quiet side. I'll, if I see someone walk over to the banners, we'll quickly walk back. But I'm just curious about well, when you see like monuments and that, I'm always curious to think what are they all about. I don't know if you can see, it's got a sundial on the side, and I've never actually seen a sundial on the side. I'm not even, it's really weird. I'll try and zoom in for you. I'm not sure. I mean, I don't think it works. I don't think it works properly. Because according to that, then is it like 1, 2, 3, 4? 2, 3, 4. According to that, it looks like it's saying it's 4 o'clock, and it's not. It's 3 o'clock. So something to do with daylight savings or something, maybe. Which is
messenger thing when you can like see when someone's seen your message and someone's active right now and share and
There you go. I thought I'd just let you have a look at that. It's got 4 sundials on. Yeah, really odd. Never seen anything like it before. Thought you might like to see that. Well, shout at me then. Did I hear my name called? Oh, I thought I heard someone shouting Jason. Hello, hello, don't get him. Go on, you going to go? Oh. Let's see what he does. Yeah, go. It's coming. Yeah. Bit quiet today. Are you going, are you? Yeah.
What do you want, coffee?
Oh, to drink?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. An Americano, please.
Americano.
Black. Thank you very much. No sugar. Yes. Don't need anything else to go with that. Hello. Here we go. Take a leaflet there. I'm about if you want to ask a question. Not too many leaflets in my hand. It's a bit difficult to hold them all. Come across it before? Birthdays. Yeah. It's a hard one to get into at first, but you watch a couple of videos and it just makes so much sense. There's a great video there, 200 proofs Earth is not a spinning ball, fantastic release. Kind of one of the reasons I looked into it a bit further, because when I first seen it just seemed nonsense, to be honest. But I think 20 minutes in after that, you'll start, I don't know, the shields will go up and you'll be a little bit upset probably and think, oh my God, it can't be real, this, it's just nonsense. And but just stick with it. And there's an app there, I don't know if you can see that, there's an app. And you download that one, watch about 2 weeks worth of videos or something. They put a video on every day or something and all that, watch that. Wow, that will change your opinions of it all. I mean, like, if I asked you why it is that you think that you live on a globe, if I asked you that, what do you think it would be?
Don't know.
Because you don't. I mean, it's a given, isn't it? You don't
think about it, really.
Definitely. I didn't think. I mean, like, I'm 49 now, so been in this for roughly around about 3 years or so. So, yeah, up until then, wow, no, never thought about it once. Just a given, of course. Science knows that. Like maybe I saw photographs. Maybe I saw you. But yeah, once you look at these are meant to be real photographs. They are. And once you look at, I mean, they look so different. They look miles different. So, okay, you could argue and say, oh, well, maybe they're using a different camera. But on there, look at that. That's proper NASA photographs, okay? I know they're not photographs, they're images, okay? But they're 1 year apart.
They look completely different.
They look extremely different. Yeah. That's America. America shrank. Something's not right. So we're asking questions, and then when you start looking into it, and you see that there seems to be an awful lot of fakery, on the International Space Station, maybe. The moon landings. Do you believe the moon landings?
Kind of, but again, you never really know.
No. I believed in all of that. There's nothing I didn't not believed in. But the moon landings, when you start looking into it and you realise that, wow, they've got so many anomalies of why that we didn't go to the moon. There's a website in that website there, FE Start. You go to there, there's a video there called A Funny Thing Happened on the Way to the Moon. You watch that I mean, I think it was a BBC documentary, and then it was spliced into another documentary. But that's an eye-opener, that. Once you watch that video, you'll be convinced we didn't go to the moon. It's, I mean, for me, that is a self-evident fact. Yeah, no, look into it. I mean, like this, I say, there's a website there, there's some videos, there's an app there. We're not trying to convince anybody. We just want people to examine it, because as you just said, then I've just asked you, what do you think your best evidence will be, sort of thing, and you don't think about it. You've said you don't. You'll find it's a fascinating subject, and keep looking into it. I'll let you have it. Always got to be respectful and not too pushy. Let them come to it on their own. He's on his phone looking at something. He's Dave Weiss, if you can check right now, is he downloading your app right now? That'd be a blast. That'd be amazing. So in the next sort of like 5 minutes, I don't know how specific it is, are you going to get an app downloaded from Carlisle? And then if you do, you owe me $1. Oh, that's good. Look, that's what Lisa does. She's still over here. Look at that. Can you grab a leaflet there? There you go. I'm about if you want any questions and that.
You are being lied to.
Well, we're always being lied to. Our governments, they can't stop lying to us, can they?
You can always go by direct observation yourself,
That's it. Well, that's what. Exactly.
These fellas did. Henry Cameron did. There we are.
That's
he measured the universal gravitational constant. At a very.
Well, he was meant to. He was actually trying to discover how dense the Earth was, wasn't he?
Yeah, but of course in science, the idea is.
Yeah. It's a shame that they never proved it, though, isn't it? It's a shame that it was just a theory, a concept.
Yes, that's Carl Popper's idea. Scott Liberty. There's supposed to be no such thing as the force of gravity, Just it's talking the space-time continuum.
Wow, and then okay, right. So you're of the Einsteinian of gravity.
I don't think he's
mathematical concept
exactly
though.
Right, because there's the fiddle factor on to make the theory work right.
Yeah, but there's a mathematical concept, isn't it?
This, aren't you?
I am. You can hear. It's not on you, but you can hear.
You better be careful what I say then,
You better be. We're going to be analysing this later. But it's just a mathematical concept though.
If I'd have picked on the well, I wouldn't say just if you believe in reality, that is a sort of real world there, and everything isn't just an illusion. That's what we might get by observation experiment does sort of bear some resemblance to, because you can't prove everything isn't just a dream. Everything could just be a dream or illusion or a delusion.
But I would like to think that NASA itself, I'd like to think that NASA has given us proper photographs that I live on a ball globe. Real photographs, and then I found out later in life that they weren't photographs at all. They were just composites.
You're a member of the Flat Earth Society, are you?
I've never met anyone from that.
Yeah.
They're more than likely government trolled.
Little bit of the Earth is approximately flat. It's a very good model. Yeah, you can see ships disappearing over the horizon.
Could there be another reason?
Up, down.
Could there be another reason?
It wasn't really a very good plausible
Ever heard
reason.
of compression, angular resolution, and perspective?
I've heard of things about this where you may be it's sort of distortion. Like theoretically, if you do the calculation, you go out maybe say 50 miles, and then you can't see what you shouldn't be able to see the shore.
That's your calculation.
That's it. Thing there, and you go further, but you see, then there's that gets sort of bent in the atmosphere, and you've got to make allowance for that. You see, it gets a bit complicated.
I can't prove that, but I've heard stories like that. But this,
there's
I mean,
thing about the round Earth, you can see the Earth's shadow on the moon. Of course, maybe you could think of a good sort of explanation for that.
That's
really
right.
Try.
Yeah, I'm sure you could.
The way it adds up, it goes to the most plausible. It is round from direct observation.
But do you think by now we should have some sort of proof?
Well, do a bit of proof, but I don't know what you mean by absolute proof, you know.
Okay. So how about this? The curve calculating, yeah? 8 inches per mile squared,
Should be
okay?
roughly speaking, yes, I wouldn't argue about that.
Right. So what about all the land that we can still see, that we can observably
Well,
see?
you see, you get the atmosphere bends the light. That's the exact as I said before.
What? And it can lift mountains up 3 miles high.
It's a bit like
3 miles high, it could lift mountains up. Open your leaflet.
What you can see.
Open your leaflet.
Stuff anyway.
Open your leaflet. Look, longest distance photograph, 273 miles away, and lifts up mountains 3 miles high. I'll accept that there is refraction. I won't accept that it's lifting mountains up 3 miles high. And it always seems to lift these places up just right. That's Blackpool. This is on the promenades, Blackpool Gazette.
Yeah.
65 miles.
Yeah.
We can see the Isle of Man.
Yeah.
2,000, 2,500 feet should be hidden. Yet the highest mount is 2,000 feet, but we can see it. So refraction works just right again and just lifts all them mountains up high. This is Carlisle to Dover.
It doesn't actually move them. It just bends the light.
Well, it bends the light. It bends the light just right,
yeah.
and then it bends the light just right there again. Carlisle to Dover. You can see the White Cliffs of Dover, and it bends the light just right. That refraction. I'm not buying it. I'm not buying it. I think it's nonsense. It's not 3 miles high. I'm not buying
I
it.
believe the world is flat, eh?
I believe it's observably flat. You know, because I've done my own tests, my own experiments.
I go along with you.
Not my own observations. Yeah. That's the problem, is it? Bloody know-it-alls. Yeah, sorry, I haven't done an experiment. I've done an observation. Words have meanings. Yeah, I've heard it, and yeah, I forget sometimes. I'm saying I've done my own experiments. I haven't.
Yeah.
I've done observations. Let's get that right. But I forget sometimes.
I suppose that's still an experiment.
Yeah. I think what it is that because for me an experiment, okay, I know what I mean because it's just my way of saying something because that's the way I was taught. An experiment, I didn't realise an experiment was meant to be science. I didn't know that, you know, like so. I know what I mean. and the problem is, I think the problem is, I'd say 90% of the population kind of would go along with me. That is experiments, you know, but it isn't, and I accept that it's not. Yeah. So I've got a coffee, have I? I take it that one's mine?
Yeah. I think yours might be the one that got knocked over before. I don't know whether it was the window or the cap that was still.
That looks like that's tea.
Mine.
Yeah, that's okay. Lovely one. I'll just put my leaflets down, and I'll have a bit of coffee. I am gasping. You all right there?
Yeah, I'm good.
I'll just grab a card and put a card in my pocket. It's all right. Oh, that's good. I'm gonna have a coffee as well, guys. Yeah. I still see a few people sniggering in the distance and that. So what is it that they're looking at? So if we're over here, it's pretty. I mean, you can see it written out so clear. You are being lied to. So you are being lied to. 200 is not a spinning ball. It is straight to the point. It's got to trigger a lot of people if they're not happy with it. Oh, I'm going to change batteries as well. I think my battery's running out. Bear with us. Need another battery. I keep seeing you guys saying he's back. I take it we lost the stream, did we? Apologies, I didn't even know. I was losing battery a little bit, but it wasn't the battery. I've got about 15% there. But charging up now. I need to put this coffee down and get my leaflets out. Okay. It's a shame that they won't take a leaflet like that, is it? No. He wants to read it, but no leaflet. Yeah. Did you get a leaflet? Did you get one? Come on, let me give you one.
I respect you doing this, but there's too much proof to say the Earth's a sphere and it's a planet.
I thought that. I've been researching for 3 years. I thought that. I can't find the proof.
What about the likes of the Voyager space probe that went out to the planets and took a photograph of the Moon and Earth together? The Galileo space probe that took a photograph of the Earth spinning on its axis. What about that?
We need to research NASA and all the fake news and CGI nonsense that they're dishing out to us. We've got so many overwhelming evidence that they are telling us all lies over it. Tons of evidence.
So the whole NASA space probe since the early 60s, since the first Mariner space probe to Mars.
That's what I'm saying. And like the moon landings and that, there's so many anomalies that we didn't go to the moon.
The moon landings, they planted reflectors on the moon that a telescope can pick up the reflection of the mirrors.
I know that.
So if they were faked, how did those reflectors get on the moon?
Yeah, so basically it's so that you can fire a laser up and then it comes down. Problem is that the Earth spins over 1,000 miles an hour, and at the time that laser's gone up there, I think it's like 1.7 seconds or something. The problem is, so I'm here, I fire that laser up, and then really I'm actually about a couple of miles down the road because we've just spanned 1,000 miles an hour by the time that goes up and comes down.
I'm into astronomy. What about, you look at the planets through a telescope, Venus has a phase.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying...
Mercury has a phase. But we're one of the inferior planets rather than the superior planets that were further out.
I don't suggest for a second that we don't have planets, but yeah, maybe we do. But we're not a planet. That's all.
Well, why should we be the odd one out if
we're not.
The planets...
We're not a galaxy, we're not a wormhole, we're not a black hole, we're not a constellation. We're not the odd one out. There's loads of heavenly bodies there that are different. We're not the odd one out. I know what you're saying, but we're not. And there's so much more to it. I know it seems overwhelmingly ridiculous, because it was for me 3 years ago. You know, like, and I'm always saying to people, obviously we'd never be able to convince anyone.
I've studied physics to a degree level.
Well, there's a guy on here. We were just in Liverpool yesterday, and there was a huge physics debate yesterday in Liverpool. So on that website there, what's it, FE Start, you'll see a link in there called Jason of the Disbury family. That's myself. That's what the stream is. So you'll see it in Liverpool. There was an amazing debate, you know, like at quite a high advanced level, all about physics and that. You watch that, and you'll see that. As I say, I mean, both of them were very highly educated, and they were discussing the physics of this.
When you've got a lunar eclipse, and you can see the curve of the Earth's shadow on the moon.
Oh, there's lots we don't know. There's tons that we don't know. I mean, the eclipse down here, on Earth, that one makes no sense because, I mean, like in my reality, I cannot make a shadow smaller than the object. It's in my reality. It's not possible.
When you get an annular eclipse, because the moon alters distance, when you an annular, annular is Latin for ring.
Okay.
So that the moon doesn't quite cover the sun, so you can see it like a glowing ring.
Yeah.
But that's because the moon is a bit closer to the Earth.
We don't believe that far away.
The orbit's like an egg-shaped almost.
Yeah.
So an annular eclipse is when the moon doesn't quite cover the sun.
Yeah.
A regular eclipse happens every couple of years, completely covers the sun.
Yeah. I've kind of heard all this, and all it is that there's an awful lot of responses to all of this, and you may not have come across it. There is other explanations to a lot of this. You know, I find it hard myself to be a teacher, and I'm just trying to literally just bring people to the table and say, look, debunk all this yourself. You know, like, because if it is nonsense, why is millions of people, and we've got scientists, we've got people with master's degrees and PhD degrees and all that, we've got an awful lot of people that actually, we've got validity for this, you know.
So with this, what are you hoping to achieve?
Oh yeah, literally, just get you talking about it. Done, my job's done. you're talking about it, you're going to be speaking to someone in the pub and that, you're going to say, oh yeah, crazy flat earther thinks that, whatever. You know, like my job's done. I just want you guys to talk about it. You've obviously got some sort of education. You've studied physics.
Yeah.
Then brilliant. Then get online, debunk it best you can. Tell all the crazy flat earth people they don't know what they're doing.
You've got to have a critical brain to think for yourself, haven't you?
Well, I actually think that most people have got a critical brain. They just haven't been taught how to critically think.
How to use it properly.
Right,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
Now, I probably have in the past fallen into that category. I didn't even know what critical thinking was. I think it kind of gets taught to you when you get to university or something, because it wasn't in my school.
Yeah, it's a lot of people don't quite get it.
Yeah.
A lot of people have got the ability, but they don't quite know.
But a lot of people think it's all about the maths and science.
It's not.
Well, I think you need to look on the conspiracy side of it as well. Yeah. You know, like I know, like kind of, I believe that every part of space, and you know, we're talking about Voyager and all the other probes that we've sent out and things. I believed it wholeheartedly. And now that I've seen too much evidence, you know what I see.
So even when New Horizons went past Pluto in 2015, that's
I don't believe any of it all
that's
now.
All fake.
Right? Yeah. Honestly, I tell you what I've seen very recently. Okay, International Space Station. You see an astronaut coming out of one of the hatches. See him coming out, and then you see a diver behind him with his scuba tank as he's going out. That's what I saw recently. Okay, that makes no sense. They're in a buoyancy lab, this International Space Station. They're in a buoyancy pool. You see tons of bubbles and things. You know, so often you see. You know, like I don't know if you know what green screens are in the film industry. And that.
I do, yeah.
So they're talking in that, and then all of a sudden you see all these green screens glitch out. One woman, she's talking. And because they got these augmented reality, I know I sound like a bloody crazy person. I'm sorry.
Listen, I've got a critical brain. I've got a skeptical brain. I don't think, because the thing is, nothing in science should ever be poo-pooed, because some of the far-reaching consequences of things that we've discovered about greenhouse warming and how the carbon cycle works on the Earth, and what a role forests play in giving us oxygen and taking carbon out of the air. In history, people that have been criticised as being Looney Tunes, some of them have proved to be right. So you can't criticise everybody that has an idea just because it's different.
That's really fair of you. That's fantastic. That. Yeah.
It's true though.
Yeah.
You know, there's people in science that have tried to disprove whether it be the age of the Earth, how carbon 13 dating or whatever, but to be critical in thinking means you're not a lemming or a
a sheep.
A sheep, yeah, a sheep. Yeah,
I should say that.
You just shouldn't be critical of people because they think differently. Because a lot of times, the most far-reaching insights can come from the most unexpected places.
Yes, definitely. I'll go for that, definitely. You know. So,
right, well, nice
I'm just going to say, but there is one thing. There's the couple of websites there. Will you at least check one or two out?
I will.
Excellent.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
Well,
thank you very much.
Nice to talk to you.
Thank you very much. Cheers. Bye. Well, what can I say? That makes me feel really good, that does. That makes me feel absolutely chuffed, fantastic. You know, like that there is people out there that can have an open mind enough to actually discuss on that level. I mean, okay, I'm not going to convince him anything to do with the sciences and math and things that he's learned, but that's okay. But hopefully he will check out. He says he will. Fingers crossed. Spotlight. How insightful that was. Thoroughly enjoyed that. You've got a leaflet. I'll leave you there. I'm here if you want to ask questions. No problem.
If you look at the up-to-date satellites, right, that's only just been sent up to space not so long ago, have took space looks at what the planet's like out of space, and not one of them says it's flat, and yet the people are saying that it's flat, and people have never even been in that situation to look at it and that, so they're not going by their own fantasies, it's not real.
Well, the thing is, it's like when we're showing images that are meant to be like the Earth, you get images like this, see? And you've got the continent here, this is like the American continent.
before, but they compete with
He's dead.
Hey?
He's closed-minded and
Yeah.
brain dead.
I did say to Lisa he'll be back. He's been back 4 times now. He'll be back.
Yeah, so far she is coming to Ireland, yes.
Yeah, but all I'm saying is that you're saying that your point is that the Earth's flat, right? But have you had any evidence, or have you been up yourself to see what the planet's like outside the moon, outside the planet? Have you been up there to see that? So there's really anybody that says that they're doing that like that now, to people who have been in the place where they've got all that all the time. That's like that. And they know it's flat, and yet they haven't been out into space or haven't got any other evidence.
Repeat it.
That's
Keep an eye on it.
rather than measuring distance.
A stationary.
Obviously seems closer along the sun. Measuring the sections that they came big enough to go to the sun, it was only about 32 miles in diameter, approximately 3,000 miles away.
Hey, all right. Thank you.
And it was really away with my...
If the world's flat, as you said, right, why is it we never walk off the edge? Because the world is not flat. That point there, where he is now, with that paperwork, but it's just...
If it's part one, the planes go off.
That right card there, where it says...
Come across it before?
Yeah, a bit online. Nothing out in person.
In person, no, that's right. We're kind of trying to beat the algorithms. They're censoring us to death now on YouTube and Google and that. It's really hard for newcomers now to come and do any research now.
No, that's fair enough.
Yeah, so we're out here on the streets. We're trying to.
That big crackdown on it, I remember seeing it in the news. And
Not with
stuff,
not with aliens and that. Go and research, to your heart's content on aliens. That's okay. You'll be fine. Go and research vampires and monsters. That's okay. But anything to do with this, it really isn't okay. They want it shut down.
Okay.
You don't want to put it Go ahead. Yeah, definitely. I say, and also on your leaflet, you've got some great websites there that you can bypass all that censorship.
Perfect.
Yeah, FE Star, let you go to there. But also, if you wanted to take it one step, there's an app there which is fantastic. It's got loads of questions on there. It's got loads of videos and that. You download that and you'll. Well, yeah, you'll think that the crazy man on the street is crazy, Because it's a tough out, we're not trying, we can't convince anyone in 5 minutes and that.
Yeah.
It's trying to, I'm trying to bring you to the table so that you can investigate.
Yeah,
because,
like with most things, you sort of just...
It's because of that. I mean, on so many levels, we are being lied to by whether it be the government, science, education, or even religion. I mean, God, you go down to Speaker's Corner and see how many are arguing over religion.
Yeah.
We're being lied to on so many different levels. We're just saying, come to the table and investigate. All right then, guys.
I've got the internet, but I'm not going to read something that I don't believe that I know is the complete opposite to what you said.
There you go.
You saw come up here last year. You've seen the same thing, and
we know you.
I'm not thinking of it at all.
Have you come across it before? Somewhat. You've seen a bit on. Yeah. We're just out on the street now because it's being censored to death now on the internet, and we just want to make sure that people have seen this. They can make their own decisions about it, and it's not hidden. Shouldn't be censoring anything on the internet.
All the satellites and everything. All this is just a fantasy.
So you've looked into this, have you?
Not there. We've got friends that the satellite systems.
You're just guessing this is all fantasy.
We've got friends that's got satellite systems in America at the moment.
Ooh, the kids are coming out. It always worries me. There, yeah. when the kids come out, I need backup. Oh, still nice and sunny, still fairly warm, a bit breezy, but it's quite warm. You home yet, Roxanne? Hey? I think you'll be home about now, I think, 3:30. So,
Your video what's going on about this? I could see that was I could see.
I think our friend here wants to just cause trouble, I think. Sticking around. Ouch. Ouch. There you go. Yeah, oh please take a picture. There you go. Would you like one of them?
Yeah.
Excellent.
Honestly, the load of rubbish because I know it's unbelievable. It's just a fantasy you're making up.
Oh, he's getting really upset. You've got to be careful not to take their ball away. It's very scary.
So you reckon satellites don't exist either?
Well, there really isn't no evidence. I mean, like you only have to type it into Google and then try and sort of find a satellite in space. You know.
So where's this GPS device getting its information from?
Triangulation, E-Lauren, enhanced Lauren.
Triangulation of what?
Well, they're just on cell towers. That's all it is. We've got cell towers probably every couple of miles or so. It's just triangulation.
Cell towers with GPS.
Yeah, that's it. Say that again?
Hasn't GPS been around longer than cell phones?
Well, then we'd have some sort of tower, you know, back when it all started off. I mean, the E-Lauren, it was first Lauren, and then I think that was back in the 50s or so, 60s, and enhanced Lauren come about. It's nothing more than triangulation.
I get that it's triangulation. It's triangulation of 3 atomic clocks or more. But I don't understand why you would believe. I mean, who's put all this together? Who's put these triangulation towers out purposely to deceive us?
Sorry, purposefully, as in who actually erected
why
them?
Would somebody,
well,
if the Earth's flat, why would somebody?
I don't know if the Earth is flat. It is observably flat. You know, like we've got a kerf calculator. I mean, like that is what's it based on spherical trigonometry, Pythagorean's theorem at 8 inches per mile squared. There should be a significant drop, 8 inches, 32 inches, 72 inches. It just gets bigger and bigger. We've got an overwhelming amount of evidence of long-distance photographs of land that you shouldn't be able to see. That's where everybody should start, is there. I mean, if I open that up, sorry, let's open that up. If you open that up, and then you can see the top one was in the Blackpool Gazette. So on the promenade there, 65 miles away, you can see that the Isle of Man. That's on a good clear day.
Right.
So based on that maths, I mean, I didn't invent the maths. I mean, like, it is what it is. I mean, like, and I've been doing this like for long enough to know that it is correct. It is correct up until I think a couple of 100 miles or so, and I think it starts deviating. It goes wrong somehow. Right. But I'll let you realise that yourself. But over that distance, 65 miles away, it's actually pretty spot on. The highest mountain there is 2,000 feet, but 2,500 feet should be hidden, but you can see it. And some will argue, oh well, refraction. So refraction has just made that visibly, okay? And then you've got Dover to Calais, and then You shouldn't be seeing that. 300 feet should be hidden. The highest peak is 350 feet, but you can see the entirety of the White Cliffs of Dover. You're not meant to see it. The one down the bottom, and again, refraction lifts that up, and it shouldn't be. But the one down the bottom is 273 miles, and what should be hidden is 3 miles should be hidden, 3 miles high. But you can still see all the mountains in the distance. And it's like you go to Tenerife, you can see all the mountains in the distance. I've got a place, I did my own observation myself just to say, is this rubbish? I need to check that and verify it. So I live southwest, I live a place Painter, but I went to Brixham, about a few miles away. So you stand on on the end of the pier. Interesting reading, but I think it's out. And then I can see Exmouth in the distance, about 17 miles. So it's no big deal, but it should be about 40, 50 feet below the curvature. I shouldn't be able to see the beach, but I can see people walking about on the beach, and the entirety of the beach should be gone. But I can still see people walking about. So through my own observations, like my own tests, I have verified that this is correct. We are seeing so much land that we just shouldn't be seeing. I mean, like if I had a catalogue, an Argos catalogue of land that we shouldn't be able to see, I could fill it up easy. There's tons of evidence of this. And then you take in the photographs of Earth maybe from NASA, because we've seen lots of this. Mm-hmm. So we got all these photographs from NASA. I didn't realise that we've never seen a photograph from Earth. These are composite images. People like him, data visualizers, they get streams of data, put it on blank spheres. They stitch it all together, put layering of clouds and things on. And we've seen like clone tools used, and you could see like the same cloud formations, identical in places and that. So people like him do it. This is one particular example. This is from the NASA website. 1 year apart. Same size radius, America shrank 1 year later. But it just goes on and on, the International Space Station. We've seen people in the background with harnesses, like where the CGI has failed and that, and then you just see him with this harness, like floating around in the background with his harness holding him.
How do you know that's not misinformation put together by somebody who supports your theory?
And you're quite right. I don't know that. You're quite right. That could be misinformation, but there's an overwhelming amount of evidence. I mean, like I'm talking about little tiny jigsaw pieces. There's thousands and thousands of anomalies and evidence, to support this claim. And we cannot convince anyone on the street in 5 or 10 minute conversation. All we're asking of people is, please, go to a website, research it for yourself. That's it. That's all we're asking of people. It's not possible because we've had how many years of I'm trying not to be rude, but I'm going to throw it in there, indoctrination. We've had so many years of indoctrination. We come from this belief system, with not a lot of proof in science. Things like this, like water. Water is meant to be going right round the whole of a sphere, and the only thing that would hold water together is meant to be gravity.
And surface tension.
Sir Isaac Newton's gravity, okay? But I didn't realise that there was actually 2 gravities. You got Albert Einstein's bending of time and space, isn't it? Its theory of relativity. Yeah. So you got that. So you got 2 different gravities in that, and then you've got. I just don't accept the fact that I'm running away with my words. I'm running too fast.
No, that's all right. I'm listening.
Yeah. So you've got this gravity, and that could it not be something more simple than just a mathematical concept that was never proven, just a theory? Just like this guy is saying, yeah, I've got a theory that this gravity, everything's been pulled together. The guy next to him says, no, it's the bending of time and space. When I drop that, you're meant to immediately say to yourself, no, it's the bending of time and space did that. That's pulling that down to the earth.
Is that not just a trick of the light,
Can we prove that? No, we can't, because it's a mathematical concept. That's it. It's just it's just maths.
Yeah, but all science is based on concepts. All science is based on models.
Can we have a scientific method?
We do have a scientific method.
Can we use that to verify certain things?
But we're still only looking at what is the current model today.
Yeah.
Whenever you revise science, you're only ever improving.
But in school, you were only ever given one model. You were never given other alternatives. You were taught one model, literally from kindergarten. One model. And there could have been other models, and there is. But we were never taught it. We were taught.
So why is it then that when we observe other planetary bodies, they appear to be spherical?
Yeah.
And that's through an optical telescope.
Well, I accept that. I'm just saying that maybe we're not a planetary body. maybe it's the fact that because I don't think for a second that like I don't know wormholes, black holes, constellations, planets that they're all the same. No, there's different heavenly bodies up there. So can we not just be something different? Do we have to be a sphere? Well, of course we have to be a sphere because we've been programmed to think that we are a sphere, a planet. But then when you see all the anomalies from NASA, and then that breaks that down.
Yeah, but if natural laws take place, the most efficient surface area for a substance is a sphere.
Okay, well, I'll accept that.
So why wouldn't it form a sphere?
I don't know. Too deep for me that. I couldn't answer you that. But you're quite right.
That's why if you get like a soap bubble, will pull itself into a spherical shape because that is the smallest surface area that you can achieve with that volume of material.
Okay.
And that's on the surface of this planet. So I have to believe that the laws which govern that soap bubble on this planet must relate to the planet itself.
Seems logical. And we could be, and that could be happening. Some people believe that we are actually in a bubble, a dome of sorts.
So
Some people think that.
You can argue against any science. You can
argue, of course.
You can argue that colour doesn't exist.
Right, okay.
It's just the way that our eyes and our optical system measures wavelengths of light.
Yeah.
So you can argue that colours don't exist.
So you'll accept it's good to challenge this?
I'm interested. I'm more interested than I was.
Yeah. Good.
I
good.
get the
See,
idea.
I don't come from a scientific background, so I can't
Nor do
argue
I.
on the science side.
Nor do I. I've got some GCSEs.
Oh, well, there you go. Right. So, well, you seem as though you know a little bit, it sounds like.
I just picked up little bits of information.
In here, look, because we've got many, PhDs, masters and degree, masters, people with degrees in masters and PhDs and that. There's so many, very learned people within this that are global deniers, very learned people, and there's millions of us, not thousands, not hundreds of thousands, there's millions all around the world that don't believe that we're on a ball. And, we have to examine that.
What is your objective overall?
Yeah, that's it. I'm done. Did it. I just planted the seed and I'm hoping to God that you're going to, research it further.
So you believe in God?
Thank you. I think that's a figure, isn't it? Right. Thank you very much for talking to me. There you go. I think people, they think that we're trying to sometimes convince people or sell something to them and all that. It's not. That was it. Just, you take a leaflet, we have a little think about it. Maybe you'll talk in the pub or something with someone and who knows, you might even totally discount it and then maybe in 6 months' time, a year's time, someone else will bring it up, and I've already planted that seed, and they'll go, you know what? I'm gonna examine this. I'm gonna look into it, because all of these crazy flat earthers, they might be onto something, or not. We might be all crazy. I just don't accept that. You all right?
Yeah.
Are you still here? You said
Yeah, I'm waiting for one call. So
all right, okay.
Yeah. Check that you got to say no.
No, I've rung it before, so.
Oh, they're having a look at all these things. They're having a talk. See, again, they're looking at the leaflet. They're probably all sniggering and laughing and all that, and that's fine. But they're talking. That's all that needs to be mattered. We're bringing people to the table. They can discuss it, and who knows? You don't know what will come of it. I think I'd have to say the majority of globe deniers, flat earthers, we probably all had a snigger at it first. So I think there's nothing wrong with that. Got to be quicker than that. Yeah, these guys are on a party, so... No, this is globe deniers. Yeah, we want proof. We're demanding proof. We're not sheep no more, we just want proof. I don't know if you heard that.
It was so deep. So deep.
No, they're having a little laugh here at our expense, but it's okay. It's okay. So Look at this. He's having a good think. He is. Yeah, I did that. Something like that. Hen night, stag night. Something's going on. Yeah, bit of both. They'll separate when they get into town where all the pubs are. Yeah. I think we've all had some good nights like that. My stag night was famous, absolutely famous. But I'm not going into it. Even the wife doesn't know what went on then. Yeah, you're quite right. Yeah, I will. I'll try and film them a bit more. But you're quite right. You alright? Have you come across it before?
No. New to me.
Really?
Yeah.
You do go on the internet an awful lot.
A fair bit, yeah.
Oh, you do? Because it really is. It's the biggest topic talked about on the internet right
Really?
now. It's huge.
I've never seen it pop up on any of my searches, and
Well, that's why we're out here today, because recently I'd say in the last, probably last year or so, I would think, you know, that they've put algorithms in place now. YouTube has come out, they've said that, you know, like we are, censoring all of this now. They don't want this to be, you can go on and find all the information about monsters, vampires, aliens, or do all of that, but you won't find it.
what about what would I put in my search engine?
Yeah, we're trying to get people
Just
to go
that?
to there. Go to that. festart.co.uk, and then you'll see loads of videos, and then you kind of buy. It's still on YouTube, but it bypasses.
Okay.
Because if you put maybe globe light or flat Earth in the YouTube search bar, all you'll get is all the sites that just ridicule it.
Right.
That's what they've put in place.
Right. And is that what the contention of this is? Flat Earth or no?
Well, I'm a globe denier.
Right.
I don't know if the Earth is flat. Okay, it is observably flat. If you go on to, if you look at the maths that are involved, you know, the curves are dropped.
Yeah.
If you have a look at that, it's 8 inches per mile squared. It's meant to be a drop.
Right.
But we can see land's far too far, and all this land's meant to be way below the curvature. There's a picture in the middle there, and it's at the bottom. It's 273 miles away. And if I had a catalogue of all these images of all this land that you're meant to see, you go to Tenerife, you can see all this land. White Cliffs of Dover, not meant to see the White Cliffs of Dover. Maybe a few bit of peaks.
From France.
So, well, that's right. They say, you know, like, it's
20
refractions.
right.
24 point something miles or something. But you're only meant to see maybe 50 feet of a few peaks.
Right.
But you can't, on good days, you can see the entirety, all of it. It's there. You're not meant to see it, but we were never taught that. Can you imagine them saying that at school? You know, if you ever see it, you're a lucky person. You go down and okay, it's there. We just think people should be asking questions. Right? If they're presenting us this maths and this science, then people should be asking questions. Say, look, well, why isn't this happening? Why is this happening? You know, ask questions.
So the obvious question is, what about when you get to the edge?
Well, again, that's media programming.
Right.
We've all got that. We all went there first and all that, but I've never met a globe denier flat earther that's ever said that. You know, we just don't. None of us say that. We all believe that water has to be contained. We all believe that water has to be contained, whether it be a shoreline, whether it be big ice walls, white cliffs, or you know, whatever. But it has to be contained. So we've never said that there's an edge. Just media programming.
Okay, right.
I mean, and then what's more? What's after? Okay, if it is all contained, what's more? Don't know, because I don't know if you're aware, they put this Antarctic treaty in place. Okay, so put this Antarctic treaty in place. I've caught you so many times. You're fine. So yeah, they put this Antarctic treaty in place, which basically forbids me and you to take lots of fuel, to take animals, dogs, and all that. So you can't go to the South Pole. I can't go. There's a chap, and I don't know how true it is. He says on a black and white interview, Admiral E. Byrd. In this interview, he says he got to the South Pole, and then he went further. He says beyond the South Pole, he comes across a land that is bigger than America itself. That's pretty strange. That's a hell of a statement from an admiral. He took about 3,500 troops down with him, you know, and then I think he flew a plane and went on further. And that's a statement. Another thing is that with all the expeditions, explorers around the world, We've had tons that are going east to west, west to east. We've got tons of that. We've had people going over the North Pole. We've never had anyone go right over the South Pole. Maybe, let's say, Santiago right over to South Pole. To Sydney, sorry.
Yeah.
No one. That flight doesn't exist. No one's ever done that. We just had a guy who supposedly went to the South Pole. So he goes to the South Pole. You know, if that's the South Pole, he gets there, and then he does a left turn, and didn't carry on.
Right, right.
So we just think that, you know, like it's a little bit suspicious, the fact that, you know, like this guy, this admiral, he says that, you know, like that there's an abundance of land more. You look at Captain Cook's logs. He was meant to do this journey of about 12,000 miles because I believe that's what it would be, you know, if he went round, you know, like the Antarctica at the bottom. But in his log, he says he did about 60 odd thousand miles. It's like, why? Well, you know, like, well, that makes sense if he's going right round a contained continent place, you know, like that would make sense, you know, like so. There's a lot of anomalies. We've got a lot of questions that we want answering. We don't believe in the photographs from NASA because they are composite pictures. I mean, that there, 2012, same size radius, official NASA images, 1 year apart. You can see that America shrank.
Okay.
Now, I was told by another passerby, I was speaking to him, and he says, yeah, but someone might have hacked that, someone might have changed the image. Well, yeah, so someone downloaded it, they hacked into a NASA website, downloaded it, hacked back in, and then put in different images. I'm not buying it, these are NASA images.
and getting back to the South Pole, who owns it now, or is it a group of countries that are precluding you and I?
It's signed by 58 countries back in 1953. If you think of all the wars...
check to see who owns it,
well,
if anybody.
Well, you check all the... I don't think anyone... I think they all supposedly own pockets of it, didn't they?
Yeah.
You know, like, but if you check of all the treaties that have been in place and all the wars that we've done, all the disagreements, that, you know, like, it's still in place. Don't object that. There's no objection to it. You know, like we've been at war with, you know, all that, and it's still there. It's okay. Everyone's still signed up. It's very strange. You know, like there has been, people gone down there and they've been turned around. You know, like, I think some people have even been arrested. You know, like that they've gone down there, but you know, without. There's on that one. It's on that one, FE Start. Yeah. There's a video on there that says Antarctica, sorry, we're closed. And that explains exactly all about Antarctica, why you can't go and why I can't go. You know.
Yeah, well, I'll have a look.
It's strange and
interesting.
And it is. This is interesting. You know, we just want people to. We're trying to bring you to the table, and we want you to look into it. And we don't. That's it. My job done. All right. Thank you very much. There you go. That's all it is. I'm happy I'm not going to be explaining. I'm happy that I'm not getting people into my cult. No, the cult of Jason and Disbury. Have you all signed up yet? Press that subscribe button. That means you're in the cult of Jason Disbury. No. It's we don't need anything. We don't want anything. We just want individuals, critical thinkers, to step forward and research it yourself. And even for those who are highly educated within their science, this is a good thing. This means that you've got people. Would you like one of them? You've got people challenging you on your science. That couple on the street in Liverpool that Anthony Riley was challenging. I tell you what, they're going to try and debunk this now. They're going to really step up their game because they want to know their shit. They don't want a globe denier like Anthony. Tearing them one, so to speak. They did really well, but I'm afraid if we were a point scoring, I think Anthony annihilated them. That was game, set and match in my eyes. I'm not trying to be biased, but it was. I hope you're all going to be coming to this convention, UK convention, 13th, 14th and 15th, held at Kidderminster in the UK. And then I keep forgetting the dates for Amsterdam, so if someone puts that in there, hopefully someone put the links for the convention, UK convention and the Amsterdam convention. Maybe you want to meet me. Maybe but I'll shake your hand, whoever you are. I tell you how good it is. This Colin here, he came down to one of my first activism days. So we did our first one in Bournemouth, which was fantastic. That was Harry's fault. I was absolutely terrified. He dragged about 20 of us out, and I think 19 people were out there talking, and I was watching because I was terrified. And if you get me on this camera, not a chance. I was hiding out the way a bit. Yeah, so I didn't really do much talking that day. But then I had to challenge myself, so that's when I printed that banner. I put all that together, and I thought I have to push myself to get out. I felt really strong and passionate about it, but I was scared. And when I was setting it up in Decoy in Newton Abbot, setting up for the first time, I had to kind of pause, get out the way, and I was being sick actually, but I didn't bring anything up. I felt terrible. I was all by myself, and I was terrified. And then the first flat earther, it was a first family that came up to me, and they went, "Oh yeah, of course we know it's flat," and that was a family, and it was amazing. You'll see that on camera on one of my first ones, Decoy. And then it was really weird because the second one come along on his bike, and he says, I'll forget the lad's name. Hey Jack, look at this. Hey, up, come and have a look at this. And he's driving along, and he's a flat earther. And so my first accountants with with people coming to see their banners, both flat earthers. Thought, bloody hell, I missed the boat on this one. Everybody's a flat earther. I say flat earther now because that's what I kind of believed back then. I went from one belief system straight into another belief system and thought, well, okay, the world is flat, and just left it at that. And that was a mistake. I've kind of re-evaluated that. I'm a globe denier. I don't know if it's flat. It's observably flat. If words have meanings, then it's observably flat. There you go. Would you like one of them? Oh, you got one. That's okay. No. And then so from that there was a gang of us got together, and we went to Leicester Square for our very first activism day in London, in Leicester Square, and it was I think it was around about Christmas time, maybe November, December, and it was the most amazing day I'd ever had doing activism. I felt uncomfortable saying activism because I didn't even know what that bloody meant, like activists, yeah, but activism. We're doing activism. So we we got all this out, and if you watch the video, it's all on video. You'll be able to. There's some amazing conversations there. I was talking to an astrophysicist, I think it was, and again, very respectful. Obviously, I can't challenge him on that side of things. But I actually did quite well, and he was really respectful. It was really good. There is some. I think you just need to know how to have a conversation with someone. That's all. I'm tempted to. I'm waiting for these lads to come over. Did you get one of them? You got one? You okay? That's all right. So yeah, we're off to Edinburgh tonight. I think. Yes, I'm sure it's Edinburgh tonight. And then we're off to Glasgow. So anyone in Scotland, if anyone in Scotland, do you want to come out to play? Just asking anyone in Scotland, do they want to come out to play?
Just tell me something here.
Okay.
How do people know? Because people are coming along, they're not looking at the board, they're not looking at the leaflet. Yeah. They're taking a leaflet and making a comment. They know what this is.
Right.
So many, not just ones, dozens. Dozens. Lisa's just experiencing the same thing.
Wow.
How do they know? Have they talked about it? Have they walked past and turned around and come back?
I was going to say maybe they've walked that way and they've come back. I don't know, but it is strange, isn't it?
I've not seen them.
Wow, that is interesting.
Yeah, isn't it?
Maybe they've seen us on the street, on the internet or something. Maybe it was last year or something. I think what it is, there's a guy walking around with a microphone and a camera. That's going to be a little giveaway or something. But they don't know what it is.
Yeah, but clearly I'm watching people walk from the distance, come towards me, I'm offering them a leaflet. They've not looked at the board and are making a comment. Oh, it's bollocks, or, that sort of thing.
That is strange.
Dozens.
Yeah. I'm going to look out for that.
Yeah.
That is strange. Huh? Yeah, that is strange. It's 4 o'clock now. We're still hanging around, maybe another half hour or so, and then we're gonna grab some tea and start heading up. See, we are so programmed, aren't we? I'm going to start heading up to Scotland. Let's start heading down to the southwest. Where the hell does all that come from? So right, I'm going to be driving across to Scotland tonight. A load of nonsense, but do you want to take a leaflet? Alright, no problem. Yeah, it seems it seems terrible at first, but please research. Yeah, if you do not understand everything you say. Alright, okay. And you picked a lovely place to come to. Yes, okay. Okay. Yeah, it's that's Colin. It is Marilyn. Yeah, he's. Maybe we should have a sit down and have a little chat with Colin again while there's a few people here. Colin, can I chat to you? There's people that want to. Well, Marilyn would just want. I think she wanted to say hello. She remembers you, but she couldn't remember your name. But
could you not?
Yeah. He's not as infamous as me. But he's done, I'll tell you what though, he's done just as much as me. He's been on so many of these, I think you lost count, I bet.
I have lost count, yeah.
Yeah, we've had, see, we don't film everything. No, we've done an awful lot of this.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, so Colin, how long have you been involved?
What, in the Flat Earth?
Yeah.
I think this is my 5th year now, going into my 5th year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. And can you see much differences maybe like now?
Oh, absolutely, yeah. The first year that we did, it was noticeable. Everyone was coming and laughing and sniggering and nobody wanted to talk. And as it's gone on, it's so much more accepted now.
It's easy, isn't
Still
it?
a long way to go. But
well, yeah, we still got a bit of sniggering going on and that, but it's, yeah.
Yeah, people are coming to us asking rather than us having to,
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, where do you think it's all going to go then now? I mean, and how long is it going to take?
Well, I felt last year that before all the censorship and that we were getting to a real serious point and I think it slowed down a bit. It's certainly not stopped. It's not gone backwards, but it's slowed down a little bit. So
yes, definitely.
I think it will all come back. We'll find different ways.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we knew that this was the right way to go from day one. We knew that when we did, was it Trafalgar Square, didn't we? The reception that we had. There was hundreds of people round our banner. There was hundreds.
Yeah.
We got through. I don't know, a few thousand people that night, and to speak to. But there was. We were out in force. There was approximately about 20 of us, 15, 20 of us or something. Yeah. There was an awful lot, and we dealt with it magnificently.
The most effective ones are when there's been numbers of us, I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
I think what it is as well, because when you've got a large group of you, other people are drawn. What's all that about? They're drawn to you, so they come over. Yeah. I think you'll all see when we maybe do Cardiff and that. I'm hoping that might be as good as last time. Cardiff was fantastic, and I think there was 5 of us. I think there was when we did Cardiff. But it was right in front of a pub, and I'm going to be going the same place again. And we had such good fun in Cardiff. It was fantastic. Look at this lot here. Come on, guys! I can see the chat, but have a froze. It looks like a